Hello, hello! BAA is finally here! I'm so excited. I'm literally tingling from head to toe. And in this really special episode, I am going to be breaking down the BAA modules from Module 1 all the way to Module 11, including 2 very special weeks that the Academy includes, which you'll learn more about soon enough as you keep listening to this episode, and a little bit about why I include certain lessons and themes inside the modules. I also talk about who would be a great fit for BAA, as well as who BAA is really designed for, my purpose and intention with this academy, and also whether or not you are going to be working along with the academy as it unfolds, or if you are learning as you go and implementing and executing afterwards. So this is a very much choose your own adventure, very unique, one-of-a-kind program in its own. So I will let it speak for itself. So if you're interested, just keep on listening. I'm your host, Tiffany Chung, your go-to for all things marketing, mindset, and manifestation. I grew my online business from 0 to beyond 6 figures in 8 months. My purpose is to empower women to step into the highest, most aligned versions of themselves. If you are ready to take charge of your life, learn how to design a wildly successful business, and leave limiting beliefs behind, you've come to the right place. You will learn the actionable tips and step-by-step strategies on money, manifestation, and social media. It's time to step into your role as boss, to raise your vibration and tap into your unlimited potential today. Welcome to the Social Reset Podcast. So you might be asking, why BAA and why not other business building programs out there? There are so many. And you're right. There are so many different business building programs and courses and offers and services. And intuitively, it's your decision. It is something that you really have to trust your gut on and tap into your deep inner sense of knowing. But for Business Activation Academy, it wasn't just a business building program from the very beginning. It never was. The way that I use activation and activating your business includes mindset, manifestation, your unique human design, and allowing you to feel lit up every single step of the way. It is so easy to follow somebody else's strategy or structure in building a program, especially the way that they did it. Right? It's very easy to follow somebody else's formula and somebody else's 4-step program or 5-step process and be able to try to replicate that for yourself. And there's very little accountability in that. And there's very little room for trial and error, implementation, and play. I think that it can feel very frustrating for people that have operated in the wounded masculine for such a long time, where they've consistently just put out action after action and made decision after decision and put things out there in a very unfulfilled way that doesn't light them up. And it's because they continue operating in the thinking and in the thought, the belief system that they have to hustle in order to create success in their business, which simply is not true. And for my clients and in my own business, from scaling to 0 to now over $300,000 in revenue, I do not hustle. I do not work hard in the sense where I am just working and putting action out there without it being tied back to something intentional. So Business Activation Academy was born because I wanted to create an aligned, intuitive, activated business, even though I've struggled to do so in the past. And I want you to know that you can do the same, even though you've struggled in the past, or you're building a business or want to build a business and don't know where to start or where to go from here. So my aligned client, the person that feels so drawn to this program, has always dreamt of living a huge life, right? A life that includes a lifestyle that they can support time and time again, where they constantly have more money than they can spend always. This is also somebody that values self-growth and progress within themselves and is able to take responsibility in order to actually feel the depths of their success and what they want in their life. And I know that the activated CEO who is listening to this and does feel aligned to BAA is no longer going to feel aligned with the lifestyle and the type of way of living that is not sustainable for them any longer and just lives in that wounded masculine state of being. And I really want to remind you that you are capable of this. You are a disruptor. And if you feel drawn to Business Activation Academy, it is for a good reason. I created it for you. I created it so that you can build a business that you feel fulfilled by and that honors your human design and honors your secret sauce and honors everything that you have created and that lights you up, and that you no longer have to be held back by you are not able to create a business out of a hobby, or that your side hustle is only ever going to be that, just a side hustle. These 11 weeks are extremely powerful, extremely immersive, and is going to account for every single step in your journey. So I'm going to walk you through some of the modules, starting with module number 1. So module number 1 is aligning your mindset and managing your very unique energy by learning your human design. So you're going to understand your human design chart, your profile lines, your centers, and really helping to start reprogramming your subconscious so that you can get set up for modules 2 through 11, where you're going to be tapping into some deep healing and deep success. In module 2, we're going to be igniting your soul and your secret sauce. So if you attended my secret sauce masterclass, you are already a step ahead. If not, you get access to all of that inside BAA. You are going to access and understand your aligned client avatar. So this is the aligned person that is going to be the best fit for you, your program, and your offer. You're also going to establish your word magic, which is your brand values, your brand messaging. These are things we're going to continue coming back to as you continue building a sustainable and ethical business. This is honestly like a mating call for your aligned clients, and they will come running and banging down your door. That is a promise. All right. So module 3, we're going to start mapping out your offer and doing some research, as well as learning to embody the transformation through integration and working up towards the activation. So in module 3, we're going to be doing a bit of shadow work. We're also going to be understanding the transformation that you want to bring to your aligned clients. So now you have a secret sauce and you know what you're capable of doing and how you're able to guide the client. But what's the transformation and the journey on the client's end? And how can we get them from point A to point B in the most efficient amount of time? So instead of creating a program that draws on and on and on and goes through all of these different lessons and steps, how can we get them to where they need to go in a more efficient amount of time? And also, how can you hold space for them in order to receive this transformation? So if they want to get from point A, where they are now, to point B, where they'd like to be, we have to create the vehicle that drives them from point A to point B and identify what that vehicle looks like. So in module 4, which starts phase 2, we're diving into marketing, sales, and learning a little bit about how we can stand out as a coach and understanding an ethical, healthy coaching relationship. So in order for you to really start understanding a bit more about what it is, what it means to be an activated coach, what it means to be a coach in a world where there is so much privilege, where there are so many systemic structures that are out to oppress the marginalized communities, how can you show up as a coach for those people and to love on your people, love on the people that are your aligned community? What does that look like? And also understanding that in some way your existence does harm to somebody else. Just by existing, just by living, there is something that someone somewhere will say or think about you that may not make sense to you, but is their reality. And recognizing that you are able to live and exist in this world and take up space and learn to not worry so much about what those thoughts are that other people are having about you, and how to create an ethical coaching dynamic with your client and create a coach-client relationship that is healthy, that is manageable, and that is equal, so that there are no more domineering, toxic, unhealthy, unleveled, unbalanced relationships any longer in the coaching sphere. So that's what we're focusing on in Module 4. In Module 5, you actually get this week off. I have a special guest that's coming in to talk about feminine embodiment and feminine flow. So this is your implementation week to focus on integrating those embodiment practices, implementing the work that you've learned, and being able to rest your mind, body, and spirit. I don't see a lot of programs offering implementation weeks and time to really integrate the work that they've learned. It seems and feels very go, 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 go. I want my students to be able to work through the academy on their own pace, while still, of course, challenging themselves to work through the material, ask questions, and reach out as they need to, but also being able to go at it in their own way. So having an implementation week in the very middle, I think, allows students to take some time to integrate and seep in everything that they've learned in order to come back full force and come to Module 6. So Module 6 is awakening your audience, and this is tapping into activated marketing that is built on human connection. So you will learn my signature content pillars, the what, when, why when building your content, how to create content, how to create content by not creating content, and building trust with your community in a way that feels good to you. So no longer showing up as someone that you feel like you need to show up as, no more sleazy marketing or sales tactics any longer. So this way you get to access marketing and building a community on your own terms in a way that feels good to you and truly, truly, truly lights you up. All right, in Module 7, we are going to work through sales. So say that you've never facilitated a discovery call or a sales call before with anybody ever, and you're unsure of where to start, what to say, how to close a client on the call, what happens when they start bringing up objections. This is where we start breaking down soulful selling. So ethical, soulful selling that is intuitive led and feels good to you. There are so many tactics that are surrounded by wounded masculine manipulative tactics that are playing on psychology and a bunch of different things to make people make decisions that maybe their human design authority isn't completely on board with. And this also leads to signing on clients that are honestly just not ready for that level of commitment and resourcefulness. So you end up having to hold their hand the entire process through, or they're not getting the results that they could be having just because they honestly aren't ready. So how to tell when a client is at a 10 out of fucking 10 and so ready to work with you versus somebody that you feel like might be a good fit and maybe you want to get the sale because, I mean, who doesn't? But being in integrity and being able to let them know that you maybe just aren't the best fit for them, or they aren't ready for this program at that very time. And also what to do next, how to downsell them, how to still work with them in some capacity, right? All right, so moving on to Module 8, this is the Instagram activation guide. So for a lot of you that remember, I started out my business as an Instagram coach, started as a social media coach. So I've got a lot of information when it comes to showing up on Instagram, understanding the algorithm insights, how to beat it and hack it in certain ways, being able to do so now in a very flowy way that feels good to you. So rather than a lot of the masculine tactics that Instagram and social media coaches will teach you, I am going to activate your social media. You're going to activate your social media, but I'm going to help you with the right dose of strategy and flow to make it extremely fun and extremely magnetic for the right people. Do not worry. This does not mean posting every single day. This does not mean getting your hashtags right every single time. This does not mean spending an hour or two engaging every single day on social media. None of that shit. All right. We're going to create boundaries and we are going to create a social media content posting schedule and strategy and method that feels extremely good to you, that you can customize on your own, that also takes your mental health into consideration, because that is extremely important as you are spending time online. All right, so Module 9, we're going to talk a little bit about launching. I'm actually going to peel back the curtain in this episode and show you how I launched BAA, all of the things that went into the launch, certain mindset tips and ways to be in flow so that I could make the most of it, not drive myself crazy, but also identify a launch flow and be able to really gear up your mindset, as well as creating an empowering community to have your back through the BAA community during this time as you are launching your program. So all the things that you need to know about launching your program, putting it out there, what does that look like? All right, Module 10 and 11. So Module 10, you now have a program. You now understand how to market and sell it. But how are you showing up from now on out? We are going to rev up your activated CEO self and start building self-trust, helping you to lead with integrity and taking responsibility for good. So really allowing you to shift into the most activated version of yourself and really embodying and integrating the highest version of who you are in order to understand what that means. So learning more about how to train your mind and train your thoughts into getting back up over and over and over again, how to reframe your thoughts to serve your highest good, and understanding what the upper limit syndrome is, as well as implementing delayed gratification into your business in order to build a sustainable business. Again, these are not Band-Aid tricks, people. These are sustainable, flowy strategies that allow you to show up in a way that feels good to you. This is not a process that I did step by step that now you're replicating. This is a process that is very much choose your own adventure in order for you to activate that CEO version of you. So in week 11, this is the celebration week. I'm so excited about this week because there's so many things that are going to happen that I just cannot even tell you about right now. But both self-learning and group members of BAA are going to be a part of this celebration week and a celebration ceremony. So expect certificates, maybe a DJ, certain things that are still in the works. But you are going to learn to celebrate your wins for life. If you have been raised to not know how to celebrate your wins or look to other people to celebrate your wins and seek external validation, we are going to learn how to allow yourself and make room for celebration, to plan for celebration and bake this into your business. Because when you lock in and anchor those emotions and that energy of celebration and breakthrough and expansion, You get to live in that on a daily basis. Your life gets to be one big moving breakthrough and celebration. So that is the conclusion of the entire program. Everyone gets to take part in the ceremony, and I'm so excited to share this with you all. So from here, what does BAA look like on the inside? Let's talk a little bit about that. These 11 weeks are going to move by pretty quickly. I don't expect every single student to be taking action every single week and to have launched by the 11th week. This is something that you can do, yes, but I would love for you to take the time to learn, to ingest this information, ask the right questions, and start building your program as you go. Okay, some people might have their program built out by the 3rd week. Some might have it built out by the 5th or the 6th week. But I want you starting as soon as we start the program, and then you have lifetime access to this academy. Nothing needs to be done within 11 weeks. And let's be honest, let's not pretend that a business gets built within 11 weeks. Right? Just because this program is an 11-week program doesn't mean that everything needs to be done by the 11th week and then you're good and you're done. Boom. Right? I want you to know that you are safe and that you are loved and that you can pace yourself so that you are going through the academy, absorbing, integrating, learning, expanding yourself, stepping into your highest self. And then maybe midway or when you're done with the academy, then you start taking action. Then you start working with clients. Now that you have all of your questions answered, you feel supported, you have the resources. Again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. Everybody will join BAA at a different stage. Some people will have already worked with a couple of one-on-one clients. Some of you will have a business, but wanting to possibly pivot or wanting to create more flow in your business. And some of you are a brand new business owner. You've never worked with any clients and you don't even feel like you really have a business. And so you're starting from scratch. And guess what? This is for you too. BAA is meant to be a very inclusive and immersive program for anybody that feels called towards doing this work and showing up. And if you're one of those people, you'll know. You will know. I am not in the business of convincing anybody that any of my programs are for them. I truly believe that my aligned students and members just know, and they will come to me. So if you're feeling called, if you're feeling tingly and warm and fuzzies, feel free to read through the sales page to learn a little bit more. That's tiffanychung.co/BAA. It's also in the link in my bio. You can learn so much more about what this program entails. But other than that, I will leave this decision up to you and your human design authority, which is how you make decisions based on your design in alignment with your life. And I'm so excited. This program incorporates so much of who you're meant to be, your human design, your unique, personalized gifts and abilities and talents, and literally who you came here to be on a soul calling level. So if you're ready, if you maybe don't feel ready, but you know that your soul is, this is your chance. I don't want you to miss out on this opportunity. More info in the show notes as well as on Instagram. I have been sharing content and going live. So there is a lot of content you can binge regarding BAA if you want to learn more. And of course, my DMs are always open. If you're on the fence and you've got a couple of questions for me, send them over. I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you. All right, I'm sending you so much love. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will catch you very soon. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe. If this episode resonated with you, please take a screenshot, share it on your Instagram stories, and tag me at tiffanychung.co. I truly appreciate interacting with every one of you. Catch you all on the next one.